Okay. The bank opening balance is 15,000, which I have failed to enter before. So let's go to the bank account. And on the debit side, the opening balance as 1/1/2006 and BAL brought down. The value would be 15,000. Let's write 15,000 in the bank account on the debit side. Now it's time for the balancing of all the accounts. Please make sure to take your calculators. Now let's take the total. Now here in this question you can see on the debit side you get 360, 2,250 and 250. The first step is to identify which side is greater. So let's first check the debit side. 360 plus 2,250 plus 250 gives a total of 2860. So I'm just entering it for the moment. This is not the final answer. And on the debit side, we'll see what would be the total. So you add up 2,500 plus 1,800, which gives 4,300. So here, when you observe this, you can see that the credit side is greater. So the balancing should be the larger number should be in the balancing. So let's enter 4,300 here. So from 4,300, we need to deduct all these figures. So calculator please. Right. Let's type 4,300, take away 360, take away 2,250, take away 250, which gives 1,440. So that should be written as 1,440, end of month date, as BAL carried down. And then over here, the next date, that will be 1206 as BAL brought down and the same value of 1,440. So this is the balancing for Alvin. Now let's move into Mary's account. Now here you need to make a comparison which side is greater as the previous one. Okay. Now let's see the total on the debit side. Total on the debit side is 1,295 and the total of the credit side is 3,575. The credit side is greater, so let's change this 3,575. Greater number side in the balancing. And then you find the difference between 3,575, take away 95, take away 1140, take away 60, which gives 2,280. 2,280. And then the date would be 31st, 106. And over here as 1206. BAL brought down the same amount, 2,280. Now let's move into purchasers returns account. Here there isn't anything on the debit side, so you just take the greater number side, 3,455. You bring it here, 3,455. Then you write it over here, 3,455. The date would be 31st, 106. As BAL brought down, and then over here 1206, sorry, here it should be carried down, and over here it would be BAL brought down as 3,455. Now balancing of the bank account. Okay, which side is greater? You can clearly see the debit side is greater. Let's bring the greater number side down and over here 15,000. Now you need to find the difference between 15,000, take away 1140, take away 2,250, which gives 11,610. 11,610. So this should be written as 31106 as bal carried down, and over here as 1206 as bal brought down, worth of 11,610. Now let's move into discount received account. There isn't any figure on the debit side, only on the credit side. So let's take the total. The total is 310. So write 310 over here, 310 over here, and you would write the end of month date and the information as bal carried down, and over here as 1206 as bal brought down, and 310. Next, the purchaser's account debit side is greater. So let's total up the debit side, which gives 19,175. Take the same value over here, and this will be, which is 19,175, and the end of month date as bal carried down, and then the next date 1026 as bal brought down. Same value 19,175. Okay. Now let's enter all the closing balances to the trial balance. Alan account has a credit balance of this much. Alan TP. So let's put this in the trial balance as Alan TP, and he has a credit balance worth of 1,140. So you will enter this balance on the credit side because it appears on the credit side of his account. Then Mary TP account, and also it goes on the credit side because Mary has a closing balance on the credit side of the account worth of 2280. Followed by that, in the general ledger, purchases returns account. So purchases returns account has a credit balance. So let's enter purchases returns, and it has a credit balance worth of 3455. Followed by the bank account, which has a closing balance on the debit side. So the bank. So let's go enter bank over here, worth of 11,610. Debit side 11,610. Followed by the discount received account, which has a credit of 310. Which has a credit of 310. So you enter it on the credit side. Followed by the last purchases account, which has a closing balance of 19,175. So let's enter the purchases value, and it has a debit balance worth of 19,175. 19,175. Now we are done with our trial balance. No need to balance the trial balance.